So this is the first video that I'm actually going to be doing in a very long time related to what my core passion is, and that's relating to Source, hearing directly what my soul needs to hear. And I was just advised that I need to start being more authentic. I've lost my way. I think a lot of us lose our way, especially when it comes to finances, living, just living a life where we feel that we need to be in constant comfort. And it's realizing that when we get uncomfortable, when we aren't where we feel we're supposed to be, that's when we kind of get that spiritual, flick in the forehead. Wake up. This is not what you're supposed to be doing. This is not what your focus is supposed to be on. This is not why you're here. This is not the message that you're supposed to be relaying or feeling in your soul. And you've got a lot more to do. You're not here to do a 9-to-5 job. You're not here to please everybody else. You're not here to be entertained. You're here to learn. That's why we're here. Now, I'm not going to make apologies for who I am anymore. I almost lost my life because I ignored my core. I ignored my spirit. I ignored what spirit was telling me for many, many years. And I knew I wasn't supposed to be living in a life that was filled with sadness, being deprived of love, being deprived of human connection, being infiltrated by abuse. Now, through that, I learned a lot. And I've said this many times. I don't know who I'm speaking to today, but it's 7 o'clock in the morning, the end of January 2023. And I feel like everything has been an uphill battle. But I decided this morning, and I had not connected with Source for a long time because I've been so busy grinding and hustling and building my businesses, or trying to, and waking up every day with a sense of doom and frustration and not understanding that what I have been doing has been blocking me from what I'm truly supposed to be doing. And that's not just motivating myself every day, but motivating others. I am here to empower other people, to show you that there's more to life than creating a business, because we are not our business. I was just given that message. The business is not my identity. And understanding that your business is not your identity, your family isn't your identity, your community is not your identity. You have your sole purpose, your sole reason for being here. And it's understanding what that purpose is. And sometimes we have to go through, it almost seems like the valley of the shadow of darkness in order to understand, before we're able to actually see the light or understand what that true mission is, because we get bombarded by the world. We get bombarded by what we think our meaning is. Yes, it's wonderful to serve others. It really, truly is. And we should all be doing that. But at the center of who we are, we have a mission here that is greater than all of us. Your soul craves it, and you know it. You feel it. When you're waking up and you're feeling lost, or you're feeling negative, or the first thing that pops into your mind is a negative thought, immediately as soon as you open your eyes, that is your spirit screaming out to you that you are not on the right path. And you've got to focus on that to figure out what your right path is. Now, sure, it doesn't mean, stop living your life. It doesn't mean stop focusing on, what your business is, or what your job is, or your family. It doesn't mean to go into a complete isolation, but it does mean you need to wake up and be aware. There's something bigger going on when you're getting sick, when you're feeling dragged down, when you're not feeling heard, when you are feeling lonely, when you are dealing with negative thoughts more than positive thoughts, when you can't seem to break out of a cycle of depression. That is your spirit screaming out to you that you are not on the right path and you need to find your life path. Because we're not here to waste our time. I know it sounds cliche, but as everybody says, this is not a dress rehearsal. This is our only opportunity here on earth. Now, for whatever reason, our soul has, had that contract with itself to learn something here, to experience what this world is: connection, love, intimacy, even darkness. I mean, we get overshadowed by, or our soul gets overshadowed by the heaviness that's here on this earth. And after a while, we fall into the rest of the programming. We fall into the rest of I feel like cattle, the dead zone. It feels like being in the dead zone when you're here on earth. And I say that because we're supposed to be living with vibrancy. We're supposed to be living with possibility. We're supposed to be creating possibility. We're supposed to be creating joy every single day. Not just in our own lives, but in the lives of others. And that could be through creation, that could be through art, that could be through music, through sound, through exploration, discovery, through all a myriad of anything that you are drawn, that makes you cry, that brings you to tears. That's what you're supposed to do. That is your soul mission. That is what is most deeply important to you. Whether that's feeding children, whether that is helping the homeless, whether that is being an actor, being an activist, standing up for those who don't have a voice, sharing your own voice, being a writer, being a teacher, whatever you're passionate about is what you're supposed to be doing. And we get so lost in the consumerism of everything. I mean, that's the world that we live in. That's what we have been taught to believe, that that's what's important. Driving the economy, driving consumerism. And that's not why we're here. That's just become a part of the whole play that we're all now involved in. And that play fucking sucks, because it's not serving anybody any good, except for those maybe who are, at the top of the mountain. And that's, I've been saying this repeatedly. Life is a climb. I've been doing the Tony Robbins 5-day challenge, Unbreakable challenge, and I don't know if that may be, yesterday I was supposed to do this assignment, and when you really get honest with yourself, you realize, wow, I really fucking detoured off of my path here. And this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. This is not why I'm here. And I know that Tony Robbins realizes that his purpose is to motivate, is to inspire, is to help people, because his upbringing was so horrendous, painful. And when you break it down into the finest simplicity, all of our experiences up to the point where we are right now has probably resembled something very similar. I know mine has. My experience from day one has been absolutely fucking shitty. And I'm not going to sugarcoat that. You just can't. Lived in poverty, alcoholism with my mother, my father. My earliest memories are of my biological father beating the shit out of my mother, smashing her face in with a telephone, getting drunk all the time, the fighting, the arguing, the yelling, the terror that me and my sisters lived in. That's what I was born into this world exposed to. The child abuse that we experienced, the neglect that we experienced, being passed on to family member after family member, because my mother was on drunken binges with our father and then our stepfather. And I adore my stepfather. I love him very much, but he was an alcoholic. I can't make excuses for who they are, who they were, what they've done. But I do have to take ownership now at this point in my life. And we all do. We can't keep blaming the past and allowing that to be our story. It's not our story. Our story is what we create. Our story is what we make it. And, over the past few years, since 2018, I was in a very, very abusive domestic violence, narcissistic marriage, and it destroyed my children. It destroyed me. But when I broke free, I broke free. And I broke free angry. I had to fight my way out of that marriage, literally, just to escape it. It was hell. But being there was more hellish. Being there was more terrifying. Knowing that not just the prospect of possibly losing my own life physically, but losing who I am, being conditioned by somebody else, being told I am not good enough, being told that I'm a loser, being told that everything I did was wrong, being told that I am the fault of every problem in another person's life, when their problems started long before they met me. And anybody dealing with that, understand, you are not the problem. You can't possibly be the problem. These people were broken long before you came into the picture. Understand that. Know that you are a worthy human being that needs to be validated, that needs to be loved. That's why we're here. It sounds simple in theory, but in day-to-day practicality, how do we find that? How do we get back to that? That is a tough question, but slowly but surely, I keep going through these battles in my life, and I keep getting hit and knocked down and, feeling like I'm alone, feeling dejected from the world. But when in reality, this is the world telling me this is why you're here. You're here because you've got a message that you need to share with people. Stop hiding. Stop being afraid of putting yourself out there. Stop being afraid to go on video. I mean, I teach this to my salespeople. I am constantly preaching video, video, video. That's how we sell. That's how we sell. But video is how we communicate, because that's just the way the world is now. It's all through video, and God bless it. Because, you know, I mean, even a few short years ago, this was not an opportunity for a lot of us. So here it is. Here we are. And here I am. And here you are. And you're listening to this message. And even if it touches one person, then you're the person that I'm supposed to be talking to. You're the person who is motivating me today. January 27th, 2023 at 7:14 in the morning. So I just want to let you know you're not alone. You're absolutely not alone. Are you worthy of having a better outcome in this existence? Absolutely. Absolutely you are. There is no reason why any one of us needs to be living in a state of fear, a state of poverty, a state of feeling like we are completely isolated and alone, because we're not. We're absolutely not alone. You know, and I don't want to make this sound like, you know, a Twilight Zone-y kind of thing. I don't know if, you know, any of you younger people would understand that, but for the Gen Xers, you guys all get this. You know, like we were raised into conditions that were unfortunate, that were where we were taught that our voices didn't count, that we didn't matter, that we needed to be seen but not heard. And God forbid, I mean, we even stepped out of line a smidge. We got our asses beat on a regular basis. I mean, shit, the way 90% of us were raised in the, you know, 60s, 70s, oh fuck, right up until the 90s. I mean, even then, you know, I mean, people are being conditioned to believe that they're not valuable, that they're not enough, that they are, you know, that their existence doesn't matter. But every single person on this planet matters. You know, I mean, why do you think we have so much crime? Why do you think that we have so much mental illness, so much suicide, so many young people taking their lives? Because they don't feel heard. They don't feel loved. They don't feel appreciated. They don't even understand what any of this means because they're too young to. And before they even have an opportunity to discover why they're here, they've been told so many times, no, you're wrong, you're stupid, don't do that. You're not valuable. You're not worth listening to. Everybody is worth listening to. And it pisses me off, and I'm getting sick and tired of the way people are behaving towards each other now, because it's only reinforcing the worst fears and thoughts that we have about each other. Shit, when you can't even go on social media, you got a whole barrage of people telling you that you're an idiot, you're stupid, go kill yourself. What the fuck is going on with this world when you can't even go onto social media to express yourself? And you've got a whole world of people attacking you that don't know you. It's like, how desensitized has this world become? How cruel have we all become as a human body that we have got to make sure that everybody else feels as worthless and shitty as we do? That has got to stop. Division has got to stop. Racism has got to stop. None of this is acceptable. None of this should be in our vocabulary, in our way of thinking, in our dialogue, in how we relate to each other. Now, I don't care who you are. I don't care what part of the earth you're from. You are a valuable human being. You are a brother and sister. We are all in this race together. Every one of them. It's called the human race. We're all all trying to figure this shit out together. We're all trying to experience this. Why is that so hard for everybody to understand? Why does everybody have to take their brokenness and beat the shit out of everybody else just for the sake that they can do it? Just because they are using this freedom of speech? No, that's not freedom. You're being held prisoner by your own pain. You're being held prisoner by your own self-talk and your own negativity and your own whatever you're carrying around with you. And you're using freedom of speech. You're using a constitutional declaration that was created hundreds of years ago to validate your shitty behavior. That needs to stop. That is absolutely not acceptable. Not here, not in North America, not anywhere else in the rest of the world. We need to be validating each other. We need to be lifting each other up. We need to be encouraging each other. And I know there's a lot of beautiful people out there who do that every single day. And God love you for that. I mean, honestly, because you have no idea whose lives you're touching and impacting and giving them just even another minute to get out of their own head and to, maybe put that gun down and not pull the trigger. I mean, we just lost this past year alone so many beautiful souls because they didn't feel heard. And that's unfair. And that's scary because our kids are watching this and thinking, you know what? I'm not feeling heard either. Fuck it. I'm just going to take myself out. That is terrifying. And I don't want any child to ever feel like they are not valuable enough to be here on this earth, to discover what their path is, and to be given an opportunity to truly, truly live. Not be stuck in a day-to-day, but truly live. To know what their purpose is. Because we're all here for a purpose. But when we get lost in this shit show, and we start blaming everybody else and taking our anger and frustration out on the rest of the world, that needs to stop now. Please. Sit down and understand just for a moment how valuable you are, how precious you are. Every single person hearing this. And I mean, you could potentially be the worst person on the planet. But you know what? Give yourself that grace. Give yourself the opportunity to have a different reframe in how you view your life, how you view the world around you, and what you are here for, what you should be doing, how you can break free from the chains that you've literally got locked around you, that your mind is locked in, and that is continually telling you that this is all you're worth. Because it's not all you're worth. Your mind is lying to you. And I can tell you, it happens to me every day. I have to keep reframing because holy shit, it's either my dreams actually are, I feel like I'm living in a constant loop of a movie in my dreams. I know a lot of you could probably resonate with that because that may happen to you as well, but I'll edit this part out. But for those of you who are waking up and not feeling that you're worthy enough, I'm here to tell you that you are. I'm here to tell you that you have value, that you have worth. And whether you share it with the world or not, know it for yourself. Don't wait for other people to validate you. Start validating yourself right now because you are worthy. That's why you're here. Whatever your belief system is, there's only one source that we can all unitedly agree on, and we're all breathed into this life as an energy being. We connect with each other on an energetic level. And sometimes those energies become so dense and so heavy that it feels impossible to get up. It feels like you've literally got a building sitting on top of you and suffocating the life out of you. But then there's others who realize that way of thinking, that heaviness, that energy can easily be lifted off of you, and you could be elevated, and you could lift up your energy to a different frequency. And probably heard it a million times by now, but I'm asking you to start doing it because you're worth it. You deserve it. And waking up in a state of fear is absolutely fucking awful. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. I'm going to ask you to take 3 deep breaths and really focus right here in the center of your forehead. Allow yourself to just be there. Be really present and focused right in the center of your forehead. And just visualize God kissing you right here in the center of your forehead. Take 3 deep breaths with me. Blow it out. Maybe lift up your hands. And just see God's face, or whoever it is that you believe in, kissing you directly in the center of the forehead, awakening the sense of who you are, telling you how much you're loved, showing you how much you're loved and valued. And feel that embrace all around you, going through the entire core of who you are, feeling the warmth of being embraced, just leaning into it and knowing how deeply you're loved. I wish each and every one of you happiness in your life. I wish you love. And I ask that you start accepting yourself. God bless you.